Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So my name is Rebecca and this is Caitlin, and we're here at the Lost Artistry headquarters, and today we're gonna be busting some lash myths. I think we should just get right into it and drop the first myth. What do you think?
Let's do it. Also, if you like today's video and you want to see more, we already dropped one. So you definitely want to check that out. I will be sure to link it below. We're gonna have a lot more of these lash myths coming your way.
All right, so the first myth is every lash artist should have strict policies in place and they should stick to them.
Ooh, I like this one because it's controversial.
It is, it's very controversial. I honestly feel like a lot of lash artists scare away clients with the policies that they have. So Caitlin and I were actually discussing this earlier, and both of us related on the topic of us not really having really strict policies in place. We really heavily rely on our moral compass and what feels right and what doesn't, which is not exactly clear for business owners. And I do believe that certain policies should be in place, but a lot of things should be situational.
Yeah, I think when you get to a point where you have a huge staff working beneath you in a salon environment, like you can't really trust your intuition on everyone because you're not as connected as the business owner to everyone in your space. You kind of have to have policies in place, otherwise you're gonna get kind of like screwed over regularly. But I think because those are so important in like big incorporations, it's easy to go into business right out the gates and feel like you have to have serious policies in place. And I'm saying this as someone who has been taken advantage of before and would have really benefited from having a policy from time to time. But those people who disrespect the policy are people who I don't really want to have as clients.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, so for me, it felt much better in business to, instead of having a policy, reading the situation and then having open, honest conversations with clients if they're doing things that don't really help my business, if they're kind of like taking advantage of my schedule or something like that. Having open, honest conversations, and then if they didn't respect me after that, then I just let them go.
I love that. It's like situational too. Let's say you have a client that's been coming to you for 6 months and one day they're like 10 minutes late, and you don't have a client after that. It's not inconveniencing you significantly. I don't see a point in canceling on that client if that goes past your late policy or whatever. I think it's very situational, and you know that client is to be someone that's very on time, very punctual. It just really depends on the situation. And that's why we were saying you can't have policies for absolutely everything, but certain things there should be policies for sure.
Yeah, like for example, if a client of mine who has been a client for a long time, they cancel last minute, and I'm like, oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
I do something, my policy is internal, and I say, okay, no problem at all. You've been so great, don't worry about it. And then next time I see them, or even when I'm texting with them or talking with them on the phone, I say, you know what? We are humans. We all, sometimes life happens. Do not sweat it at all. Of course, if this is to happen again and again, we'll have to start taking a deposit for your service. But at this time, don't even worry about it. Like,
absolutely,
you don't even sweat it. Let's rebook you and not worry about it. And then if they do it again and again, then absolutely, not only am I gonna take a deposit, but if that client continuously does that over and over and over again, I just am honest with them. I'm like, look, I get life happens, but also I have kids. I have a life that,
of course, things happen.
I have clients who would be willing to take the spot, who are reliable. And although you're awesome, I can't continue to see you for services. Let me know when your life gets back on more of a schedule, and you can make it to your appointments. And as long as you have integrity behind the words that you're saying, and you actually have respect for that person, you speak to them like a human being, they're pretty understanding and they don't really want to take advantage of you.
Exactly. No, I agree with that entirely.
Yeah. What are some other policies that people put in place, obviously other than deposits?
I've seen some really strict ones. I don't know if these were like serious, but I've had policies saying like no talking during certain appointments, like a silent appointment. I've seen policies.
Whoa, written?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
written?
I saw that once. Yeah, I don't know if that was like a joke or if it was serious, but I have seen that, a no talking zone. I've also seen no caffeine prior to your appointment. I've seen.
It just seems really intense if you're putting that out there. Like, why not just have a conversation? No hard feelings to those who are doing this. But just playing the devil's avocado here a little bit. That's what my husband calls it, anyways. If you are, like, some clients can't really talk when you're doing their lashes.
For sure.
Because their eyes open, they flutter, but
they move their hands.
Some clients, they can talk totally fine, and you kind of just can like zone them out and allow them a safe space to speak while you still get in the zone. So I think it would be nicer, instead of seeing it on a site, like if I saw no talking, no this, no that, I'd be like, I'm not going there, I'm scared. But instead, if I go in there and someone's like, Caitlin, I love chatting with you, but your eyes flutter so much, like, go to sleep.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
100%. 100%. That's why, again, it's situational. Like, it really depends on the client. Sometimes people can speak very stoically and their facial muscles don't move and it doesn't affect your work. But then there's people that are speaking like with everything everywhere, and I can understand why maybe no talking would be in place.
And I can also understand from a lash artist point of view, if you're someone who has like anxiety when your client speaks or you're slower or something, you can absolutely speak to every single client who comes in to see you and just say it in a very elegant way. Like, hey, I am so much slower when I speak, so I'm gonna put on a podcast or like whatever it is that you want to do, or do you have headphones? Like, bring them to your service. You can even send them a text message and be like, bring your headphones if you have them and you want to listen to something. It really slows me down when I chat. Like, you can say it in a nice way.
In a really nice way. I agree with that.
Yeah.
There's a really good way to go about it.
Yeah. Also on the timing thing too, on the timing policy, I do see people saying like, if you're going to be more than 15 minutes late, I'm canceling your appointment. And I've had clients pay me full price. This is just a fun little idea, but I do it and it works great. But if a client's however long late to their service, I'm not going to push my next client 15 minutes unless they're really relaxed and they're open, or situational, of course. But I always just talk to the client who's behind and I just say, dang it, we're not going to be able to get you as full as I would like today, but I'm still going to get you as full as I possibly can. I'll lash the bottom layer first, and even if that just gets done, totally fine. They pay me the full price, and then I just book them in for a sooner fill, and I explain that to them.
I love that. That's actually a really, really smart way to go about it.
I'm like, oh no, don't worry, just still come in. We'll get you as full as we can
in the time
and then
period.
We'll book you in 2 weeks instead of 3.
Perfect.
And then they're like, sweet, and they're happy, and there's no weird vibes or anything.
And they know you're doing everything you can to make it work.
And it's like, sorry, it's not my fault that you're late, but also it is what it is.
I'm gonna work with the situation. I love it.
It works really well for me. It feels good.
I love that. Shall we go to the next myth?
Let's do it.
So the next myth is beginner lash techs can make $100K a year.
This is a loaded one. What do you think?
It is. So I think that beginner lash techs can make more than $100K a year. But with that being said, I do believe that there should be some realism to a conversation. After you take your beginner lash tech course, there is a learning period, and there's going to be a lot of effort and marketing and everything required into your business, and you can't just sit back and expect your books to be filled.
Yeah, because if you expect to make $100K right away, then you're tricking yourself. That's not going to happen. And some people will never make $100K plus a year as a lash artist. It depends on how dedicated you are and how much you're ready to hustle and invest in yourself, because, and I agree with Rebecca, we're prime examples of that. You can make as much money in this industry, I think the sky is the limit, really, but it's not gonna come effortlessly.
Exactly. It's all about the amount of time and work you put into that. It's kind of great because I find our business is almost like a commission model. It's almost, and I personally operate really well on commission models because it encourages you to work more. And the more you work, the more you get out of it. So it's very similar with us. The more you market yourself, the more attention you're gathering to your page, all of that stuff, the more likely you are to sell out your books.
Yeah, and on that note too, I think it's easy for people, and I think not easy for people to think this, but I think it's common for people to put all of their efforts into working in their businesses, not on their businesses. And you really need a balance between the two. If you're always just focusing on your work when you're doing the services, that's great. You do need to do that. But you also need to have an open mind to the next step of business, or like social media, for example. You have to pour at least some efforts into social media or marketing locally, passing out business cards, and you can't just expect the business to come to you. You have to create the business.
Absolutely. Such a good point.
Right?
I love that. Yeah.
And then also on the note of making 100K plus a year, so making more money in your services, every service you do is really important. So ways that you can up the money that you make, your net income. A couple quick things to look at, and we do have courses on this as well. Number one is lowering your product cost. So purchase your products in bulk to save money. Like reach out to Lost Artistry, we have wholesale discounts. And something a lot of people never think of, and I used to do this, believe it or not, before I started my brand, was I would reach out to people in my area, like local lash artists, and I'd be like, hey guys, I'm making a product order. Do you think anyone want to like get in on it so we can all save like 20 to 30% on products just by ordering together? And bulk, everyone was like, heck yeah, I make small orders all the time, like let's do it. And then I would get them all in, and then I would divvy them out to people, and they would like come by the salon and grab them, and we all work together.
Smart.
So it's not just about, well, I can't make an order that's $1,000. Yeah, you might not be able to, but likely you can make a couple $100 order, and there's people in your area that if you just reach out to them, they'll be down too. So you could become like the wholesaler. That's actually how I started.
In your industry.
And that actually brings me to my next point, which is retailing products and how much money this can make you. You should be 100% retailing Lash Bath, guaranteed.
For sure, after
without
products,
question. Lash Gains, which is our growth serum, and that sells like crazy. Oh, you have a person, easiest upsell ever. A person comes in, I want more. Can you give me darker? Can you give me more dense? Okay, girlfriend, you're gonna have to use the little Lash Gains and let those babies grow a little bit more, and then we can make the density a little bit higher. Perfect, sold, invested. Done
deal.
Or like they're on a lash break and they want to get their lashes back up to perfect health. Not that they should be damaged, but like they do need a little boost when you take lashes off after wearing them for a while. So having products like this, and even other things that you connect with. I used to sell, because I'm obsessed with hairstyling as well, I would sell purple shampoo, and my lash clients would come in and buy my purple shampoo.
Oh my god, I love it.
So random. So it can be anything.
You're in a beauty environment, so might as well.
Exactly. And things that naturally kept coming up in conversation, like ask yourself this when you're lashing. What do I always find myself talking about with these people? And if that's, I don't know, brows, maybe you should probably bring on something brow related, or start offering brow services and doing those on top of your lash services.
For
and
sure.
then you're making more money that way. There's little hints all the time that it's easy to just dismiss them, but if you really focus on them, you're like, people are telling you what they want.
What they want, yeah. It's so true.
You just gotta deliver.
Just gotta read between the lines. I love that.
Yeah, and I think the last thing on the notes of upping your profits would be learning how to really manage your time as a lash artist. So not spending a bunch of time in between each client. This is an interesting one because people do this all the time. I see it always. Where they're like, oh, I need to book at least 15 to 20 minutes between every service because I need to disinfect my tools. Well, that 15 or 20 minutes could be avoided and knocked down to like 5 if you just had extra tweezers on hand that were always clean. So having like, I have like 10 pairs of tweezers on hand, and yeah, initially it costs more, but it actually saves me and makes me more money
long term.
Instead of going in between every single client having to disinfect. So even if you just have 2 pairs and then you do 2 services and you let one disinfect while you're doing your next one.
Exactly.
Yeah, so little tips like that make a big difference.
Yeah, and that's such a good point. Like having extra supplies on hand all the time saves so much time, and you could fit in more clients that way as well.
Yeah, and not ordering, going back to the ordering thing, not ordering so many little packages because you're also getting hit with shipping.
Yeah.
On those, and that kind of stuff adds up.
It's so true. It's so true.
Should we do the next one?
We should. Myth number 3. All lash techs have an expiry date. What are your thoughts on that?
That's also loaded. These ones are loaded.
I know, I'm trying to stir the pot.
You are stirring the pot. I want to say yes and no to that one. So it's a myth, in my opinion, in that they don't have an expiry date as long as they keep growing in their business outside of the chair. If you think that, and I'm sure there's someone out there that would be fine doing this, but if you think that you can live all the way to retirement doing lashes and hunched over your client without any body pain or without that becoming hard on you, I think that you're fooling yourself, and you kind of need to have a little bit of a backup plan, or at least really hustle while you can and then set yourself up for retirement.
For sure.
But I think outside of that, as long as you see signs for growth and you grow with them, then there really is no expiry date.
Yeah. I think expiry date is harsh, but I do believe that actively lash techs should be focusing on like their health, their posture, their hygiene, all of that kind of stuff to make sure that they're not putting their body at risk by staying in one position all day. Like there's ways to go about it. Maybe instead of taking 5 clients a day, you're taking 3 a day. Or let's say you want to only work 3 days. You do all your client heavy days in those 3 days, and then you take 4 days off. So there's ways to go about it where you're still keeping your health intact.
Yeah, and I think for some people too, if they were to prioritize doing, say, yoga and stretching, and I actually had to get a little note that I stuck onto my cart that said, watch your posture, because I naturally like hunch a lot.
Same.
And then I was getting really bad lower back pain, and I do yoga now, so it's fine and it helps me. It's like my saving grace. But if you're not focusing on those things, I do think that you will expire eventually.
Yeah, I agree. Because your body can only hold up for so long. And if you're doing, I remember when I was lashing, like at my prime, 7 days a week, 3 clients a day, I would get this shooting pain up my arm. And I was like, what the heck's going on here? And I ignored it for so long. And then it started to go higher. And I'm like, this is insane. I'm 23 years old at this point. I'm like, why is my body doing this? But it's crazy. Like if you're doing the same motion over and over and over again and you're not stretching out, you're not taking care of your health, massaging yourself, whatever it is, your body will feel the effects.
Yeah, for sure. So then on that note then, how can somebody steer clear of expiring as a lash artist? Like how can you prevent that? Can you?
Yeah, I would say you definitely can. I would say exploring avenues of potentially getting more streams of income, like we previously said. Another thing you could do is actually host retail in your salon. So hosting Lost Artistry products within your salon and upselling them, that's gonna generate another revenue of income for you. And let's say you set a goal to sell 5 products a week. That could cover 2 clients, and then you could remove those 2 sessions from your schedule and get the same amount of money but work less. So there's different avenues you can explore and really cut back your time in the physical chair, and then alongside stretching out, doing things to take care of your body while you're lashing is what I would personally recommend.
Yeah, I think there's so many different options at your fingertips. You just have to kind of explore which one is best for you. So, okay, your body's starting to tell you, I can't physically do this as much anymore. You have to ask yourself, like, what's next? All right, I'm fully booked, or I want to cut back on my clients, but I don't want to make less money because none of us do. So do I want to maybe have another person rent my chair from me some days of the week? That could be an option. You're not using your bed all the time. What about on the days off you let someone else use it? Even if it's like a detached part of your house or somewhere, you can still do that with someone. It has to be the right person, but that's an option. Do you want to own a salon or even a small lash studio? That's what I did. I was fully booked at home, and then I was turning clients away because I was so busy, and I was like, hey, maybe I'll just get a small lash studio. I got the most affordable one I could because I already had a clientele base and knew clients were gonna come follow me wherever I went. So I got this really affordable space. It was not on a main strip or anything, so it saved me money and it was less scary. And then I started with one employee, and before I knew it, I had 7 lash artists and hairstylists running from that space. And then there was people like sharing chairs, so it was always busy, but it happens slowly. So that's another thing you can do is open a space, and then you manage that space eventually, and you take less clients, but you teach people your ways. So that's an option. Like Rebecca was saying, becoming a local retailer, it can be for anything. It doesn't even have to be for lash supplies. It could be for waxing. It can be for DIY lashes, like our citizen lashes.
Yeah, exactly.
People just come by, you're hitting a whole new market of people who are allergic to lashes, or they want something different. Or it can be for lash gains. It can be for anything. You can retail anything. And another option is becoming an educator. You can start educating in your space. Then there's so many things you can do. If you want another video on that, let us know.
Yeah, and also if you are curious about learning all the steps to becoming an educator and what that would look like, also comment down below.
Yeah, we're gonna be coming out with something real special real soon. And actually, on the note of retailing, I forgot to bring this up. We have a full-blown course that I think is $14, like 1-4, like really cheap.
Wow.
Nearly $10. And it's all about the art of retailing. So we teach you how to retail effectively, and get this, in that booklet that you get, it's all online, so you don't need to worry about shipping costs or anything. And in that booklet, it has over $120 of coupons.
Oh my goodness, so it's like you're getting money.
Yeah, exactly.
By
and you're learning something and you're getting money. But I feel like that's so important, and it's really easy to feel really salesy when you're retailing, but you don't have to.
No, there's a way to go about it.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's definitely more professional, and you're leading with intention instead of just like trying to sell something.
Yeah, I love that. So the last myth is word of mouth is enough for marketing. So I'm gonna go ahead and bust that myth. Just because we are living, I always find this, we're living in 2025 and we're blessed with all these resources at our fingertips to be able to market ourselves completely for free with social media platforms. And if we're not using that to our advantage, especially in a business realm, I feel like we're doing ourselves a disservice. Having an audience is quite literally one of the most powerful things that you could do for yourself and your business. And generating a community around you that's gonna support you is something you can lean on and really build for yourself instead of just relying on local word of mouth.
Yeah, so to add to that too, that's not meant to say that there's no one out there who can successfully grow a super loyal clientele by just word of mouth. You can do that, it's possible. But if you're finding your books aren't full and you're relying on word of mouth only, it might be time to tap into something different. Social media is an obvious great start, but even putting yourself out there in other ways, like for example, talking about it in the community, outside of expecting your clients to talk about it, you also talking about the fact that you do lashes all the time. Giving free services is another huge one. Or going into local businesses and dropping off business cards. Like that stuff is still helpful, but social media is definitely the most obvious and prominent one right now, I feel.
I 100% agree. And also adding on your point, something I've been trying to challenge myself with, which is also good for interpersonal development, is when I'm in public, let's say I'm working at a cafe and I have like the whole day there, I challenge myself to speak to at least one person about my business, whether that's, and that doesn't have to be coming across salesy or getting this person in as a client. It's honestly just putting yourself in intentional comfort and putting yourself in a place where you're talking about something that you're creating and that you're super passionate about, because your business should be an extended version of yourself and all the best qualities of yourself. So practicing talking about it will naturally help you attract more of a clientele with time as well, because you never know who you spoke to and who they know as well.
Yeah, tapping into other people's circles are huge. I actually get my free clients, for the most part, Well, more so on social media now because it's easy with a higher following, it's easy to reach out to people who are like models and stuff. Like they usually do say yes now.
Yeah.
So I do it less now than I did in the beginning, but for the longest time, I would do free sets on people who I would meet in different settings only. So like I wouldn't do a free set for a mom and then her daughter. Every now and again I would.
Yeah.
But I would do that person that I met at the grocery store, and then I would do someone I met at a kids event, and then I would do someone I met at the gym, and it was tapping into all their markets.
That's so smart.
So instead of relying on one small group of people, you're really shedding your web, and then or shooting your web, and then they're shooting it to theirs as well.
I love that. And the great thing about like being a lash artist is they're walking advertisement at all times. So you had like advertisement in different localized areas.
Yeah, and then
really
getting
cool.
those people as a thank you, getting those people to promote you on their social media.
I love that.
Share a story. That's all you gotta do, share a story, or like let me take one, or get your clients to bring in some makeup so they feel more comfortable more comfortable with the afters and stuff. There's so many things you can do.
I love that. I love it.
Beautiful. All right, that was an intense one. I actually really enjoyed talking about those topics.
Me too.
And I think that sums up today's video.
I think so too. If you've made it to this point, thank you so much for watching. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you have any other myths you'd like us to bust, comment them down below.
As always, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.